My sister canceled my daughter's birthday to celebrate her new boyfriend and my ex-husband in my house. So, I cut the power mid-party. By the time she called me screaming, she had already been expelled from the university. The tow truck had taken her car. Now she's begging me, but it's too late. I was in the living room with 2 friends, inflating balloons and organizing the details for my daughter's birthday, which was supposed to be on Saturday. The house smelled of adhesive tape and new plastic decorations. Suddenly, I heard the front door open. My sister walked in as if she owned the place. And right behind her was my ex-husband, whom I hadn't seen in 5 years. I felt my heart dropped to the floor. "The hell are you doing here?" I blurted out. My sister acting as if nothing was wrong. "Didn't I tell you? We're together, and this Saturday we're going to celebrate our engagement here. So you'll have to cancel the kids thing." I froze. My friends exchanged "what the hell?" looking lowered their heads. My ex threw himself onto my sofa, grabbed a beer from my fridge, and shot me an arrogant, contempt-filled smile. "Come on, don't be so dramatic. It's just a kid's party. She won't even remember it." I stared at him. "You owe your daughter $45,000 in child support." He just shrugged details. "That's all in the past." That moment, my daughter came downstairs in her new dress, happy. My sister took her by the arm and told her mercilessly, "Sweetheart, there won't be a kids' party. There's going to be one for adults, which is much more important." I watched as the hopeful light on her little face was extinguished, broke my heart. And as a final blow, my sister added, "Mom already knows and she's happy for me. Your daughter can wait. My engagement is what's truly important." The slam of the guest room door was all the confirmation I needed to them. My house and my daughter meant nothing. In that moment, I knew I had to make their party unforgettable. After they left, I just stood there for 5 minutes looking at the balloons hanging from the ceiling like dead flowers. My friends didn't know what to say. One of them whispered, "Are you okay?" And I could only smile more than okay. In fact, I think for the first time in years, I see things with perfect clarity that night, as my daughter cried herself to sleep. Because her aunt canceled her party, something inside me broke and was rebuilt. I was no longer the submissive sister who let herself be walked all over. I was a mother who was going to show her 6-year-old daughter that no one can take. What is yours? On Tuesday morning, I began my investigation. First, I called my lawyer. "Marquez has reappeared. I need you to reactivate the child support case. The $45,000 he owes, plus all the accrued interest. Do you have his current address? He's going to be at my house on Saturday. I'll send you the exact address in time." My lawyer was silent for a few seconds. "At your house? How is that?" "Let's just say it's going to be a very memorable party." Second step, the car. My sister had been using my car for months, telling me hers was in the shop. Complete lie. Called the police. "I want to report my vehicle as being misappropriated." I lent it to my sister for a few days. Now she refuses to return it and is using it without my permission. The officer took down all the details, license plate model, and where it would be parked on Saturday. "Understood," he said. "A report will be filed if the vehicle is found at the address you provided and your sister does not have authorization to use it. We will proceed to coordinate its removal with a tow truck." Third move, the university. My sister was studying for her master's degree with my financial backing. I was her economic guarantor. A 5-minute phone call was all it took. "I need to withdraw my financial guarantee for the student registered under my sponsorship." The neutral voice on the other end warned, "Are you sure this will result in the immediate suspension of her enrollment?" "Completely sure," I replied. "I want the withdrawal to be effective as of today." On Wednesday, my sister sent me a text. "Sis, I need you to pay for the catering for Saturday. It's only $800. I'll pay you back next month." I replied immediately, "Of course, send me all the details." Paid for everything: catering, DJ, premium liquors, extra decorations, for $1,000 in total. I saved every receipt in an evidence folder on my laptop. Thursday night, one of my friends who was there on the day of the humiliation called me. "You're not going to believe this, but you have to know. I just sent you an audio clip on WhatsApp. Turns out your sister became friends with mine." I had no idea. "And today she came to visit her at home with Marquez. You have to hear what they talked about." Checked my phone. It was the long audio recording. But the most important part was my sister's voice, clear as day, talking to Marquez. In it, she said word for word, "My sister is our personal ATM. She pays for anything I ask. She's too nice, and she has money. We need to squeeze every last drop out of her." On Friday, I called my friend who works at the electric company. "Remember, you told me if I ever needed a favor with the electricity service, I should let you know. Of course, what do you need? An urgent maintenance call tomorrow Saturday at 10 p.m. at my address. Something that requires cutting the power for safety reasons." He laughed. "Sounds like they're throwing a party. You don't want something like that. Can you do it? Give me the address." It will be an unforeseen technical outage that will last until you tell me that same afternoon. I booked the presidential suite at the nicest hotel in the city for my daughter and me. Our real celebration would be there with room service movies and a cake more beautiful than anything they could have. Friday night, I installed security cameras in the living room and dining room. I had been thinking about installing them for months for security. Now I had the perfect excuse. My sister sent me another text. Everything's ready for tomorrow. Thanks for being so understanding, sis. I knew you get that our engagement was more important. I replied, course. It will be an unforgettable night for you, little sister. Party on your level. When my daughter asked me why we were packing suitcases, I told her, remember, when I promised you, the most special birthday party of your life? Tomorrow we're going to celebrate in a real castle. Her little eyes lit up for the first time all week Saturday morning, while they were decorating my house with my things and my money. I was at the hotel teaching my daughter how to order room service like a princess 8 a.m. on Saturday. I sent them a joint message with an icy smile that no one could see. My daughter and I are heading to a hotel for the weekend to give you space. Enjoy your party. My sister replied immediately with an effusiveness that now sounded hollow. You're the best. I promise we'll take care of the house. Marquez added with the false kindness of a predator. Thanks for understanding. It will be a perfect night. At 11 a.m., my friend called me hysterical, her voice carrying a truth I wasn't ready to hear. You're not going to believe what I just saw. I was at the mall with my daughter when I saw Marquez kissing another woman in the parking lot. It wasn't your sister. I swear. My blood ran cold. The world seemed to stop. Are you sure? Absolutely positive. I took pictures. I'm sending them to you right now. Images arrived in seconds, a dagger straight to the heart. Marquez, my ex-husband, entangled with my sister's best friend Sophia in a painfully compromising situation, date and time stamped. Saturday, 10:47 a.m. A betrayal seared in digital. Ink. Sophia is my sister's best friend. I explained, the rage starting to boil inside me. They're going to be at the party together tonight. Apparently they're such good friends. They even share a boyfriend. What are you going to do? Are you going to go over there? Not right now? Let the party go on. Let them enjoy every minute, because tonight will be unforgettable for everyone. Calm in my voice was an omen. At 2 p.m, me received confirmation from my lawyer. Another piece on my chessboard, the warrant is ready. The police will go to your house at 11 p.m. to arrest Marquez for non-payment of child support. It's official and there's no turning back. At 4 p.m, my sister called me furious as if she had any right to be indignant. Credit card was declined. I need another $300 for the wine. This is unacceptable. Which card specifically? I asked, my tone barely revealing a sliver of the hurricane that was coming a storm. She couldn't yet see mine. It says there are no funds. Her voice was an exasperated growl. How strange, it must be a bank error. I said with a voice so neutral it surprised me. Each word a calculated step in my silent revenge. I'll check on Monday, can't just leave us hanging. You're impossible. This is why Marquez left you, because you're cheap and bitter. Her scream scratched through the phone, revealing her true nature. Little sister, I replied, my voice low and laced with a quiet venom. Marquez didn't leave me because I was cheap. He left me because he's a coward, a parasite with no dignity. Anyway, you two figure out the wine, the night is just getting started. She hung up, screaming a furious echo that left a bitter smile on my lips. 20 minutes later, my uncle called me. His voice was tinged with concern, undoubtedly influenced by my sister. What did you do to your sister? She called me crying, devastated. She says you're crazy with jealousy and you're using the child to get revenge. Uncle, just wait until tomorrow and then judge for yourself what really happened. She says, his doubt was palpable. Uncle, please trust me. Everything will be cleared up tonight. And then you'll see who in this story. 6 p.m. I received a strange call that sent an icy chill down my spine. Ma'am, this is Expressed. Locksmith calling. A woman claiming to be the owner of your house wants to change the locks immediately. But our records indicate the property deeds are clearly in your name. Do you authorize this change? I absolutely do not authorize anything. I responded, my mind processing the sheer audacity. Please, can you give me a written and detailed report of this attempt? I need all the particulars. Of course, I'll email it to you immediately. My sister was trying to change the locks on my house to take it from me. Her shamelessness knew no bounds. Her betrayal was an open wound that was now trying to take my very foundation, my home. At 7 p.m. The message that filled me with courage arrived. If you ruin my party, I'm calling social services. I have videos of you mistreating your daughter. She attached an old video where my daughter was crying. I remembered that day perfectly. My sister had pushed her, and she had fallen when I was comforting her. My sister had recorded only the part where my daughter was crying without showing what had caused the tears. Called her immediately. Little sister, are you threatening me? I'm just telling you that if you don't cooperate, I'll have to protect myself. Protect yourself from your jealous attacks. That video shows how you mistreat your daughter. Seriously. You're going to use an edited video from the day. You pushed my daughter. Silence. What little sister, record this call too? I'm recording it myself. Tell me again how you're going to use social services to take my daughter from me. I didn't say that. You just said it. Do you want me to repeat it for you? You said that if I ruin your party, you'll call social services with a fake video. Are you crazy? She hung up. I saved the recording, irrefutable proof of her greed and manipulation. 8 p.m. My sister posted a photo on Instagram. She and Marquez embracing the falseness shining in every pixel bright future. Perfect couple. All of Undersurnest took a screenshot. It was perfect. My sister showing off in my house with the hashtag are lonely for us. When she didn't even live there legally. The stage was set, 8:30 p.m. I called the police to confirm the final details of my plan. Ma'am, the report for the misappropriated vehicle is active. If we find it at the address you provided, we will proceed to have it removed. Perfect. It will be there all night. No rush, but please make sure it gets towed. At 9 p.m., my sister uploaded videos to TikTok, oblivious to the abyss, awaiting her. Her laughing Marquez pouring drinks. Everyone toasting in my living room with my money, my wine, and my life. The final video, the crown jewel, showed Sophia, my sister's best friend, shamelessly flirting with Marquez, the irrefutable proof of their double cross, courted and broadcast by themselves. I sat on the hotel bed, the sound of my sleeping daughter's gentle breathing beside me, and drafted the most devastating email of my life, addressed to our entire extended family, close friends, my sisters, co-workers, and any soul interested in the truth, subject, truth, about my sister's engagement in other deceptions, body, family, and friends. As many of my sisters celebrated her engagement party last night in my own home. What you don't know is the full truth behind the charade. Attachment 1. A revealing audio clip where my sister describes me as a personal ATM and advises Marquez to squeeze every last cent out of me. Attachment to explicit screenshots where she threatens to fabricate a manipulated video to use social services against me. Attachment 3. The official locksmith report documenting her brazen attempt to change the locks on my home. Attachment for undeniable photos of Marquez, her fiancé, passionately kissing her best friend Sophia. Attachment 5. A screenshot from her Instagram where with total cynicism she boasts of a bright future. And our love with rest in my property, where she resides without paying a single cent. Attachment 6. The irrefutable recording of her threat to use social services, and the icing on the cake of this farce. Marquez, the man she plans to marry, carries a debt of $45,000 in child support for my daughter, which he has evaded since he disappeared 5 years ago. My sister not only canceled my 6-year-old daughter's birthday, but did so to celebrate with a man who abandons his own children and sleeps with her best friend. Let everyone judge for themselves what kind of person is capable of such acts. P.S. My daughter, fortunately, had the most beautiful princess party at the Four Seasons Hotel. I reviewed the email 3 times with the coldness of a strategist. Everything was ready. Before 9 p.m., me called my best friend. Can you do me a huge favor? Can my daughter stay at your house tonight? I need to do something important. Are you? Okay. I'll be better after tonight. Half an hour later, I watched my daughter leave with her princess backpack, completely unaware of the earthquake about to be unleashed. I gave her a kiss on the forehead and whispered, tomorrow, everything will be different, my love. At 9:45 p.m. I left the hotel in my bag. I carried the high-powered flashlights I had bought that afternoon. It was time to go home. The 20-minute drive to my own house felt eternal. My friend from the electric company confirmed all set. The power goes out at 11 p.m. sharp. Park 2 blocks away and walk towards my house from the shadows of the backyard. I had a perfect view of the living room. Party was at its peak, 10:59 p.m. hidden in my own garden. I placed my finger on the send button. 11 p.m. power went out, plunging everything into darkness. 11:01 p.m. I hit send. Email shot out to 47 contacts simultaneously. I turned on my flashlights and walked towards the back door of my own house from the shadows of the backyard. I could see my sister raising her glass in my living room, surrounded by guests, drinking my wine and eating my food. Thanks for coming to celebrate our future in our home, she shouted with Marquez hugging her while Sophia laughed nervously in the background. 11 p.m. The lights cut out abruptly. Everything was plunged into darkness. The music died. Screams of confusion filled my house. What happened? I can't see anything. Where are the candles? I waited 30 seconds. Then I opened the back door. I switched on my 2 high-powered flashlights and entered my house like a vengeful ghost. The beams of light cut through the darkness, illuminating confused and frightened faces. The silence was absolute when they saw me. Since you're all here celebrating with my money in my house, I think I deserve to give a little speech for the fiancé. At that moment, like a perfect symphony, email notifications began to chime on all the phones present. Ding ding. I suggest you all open your emails. I continued, pointing one flashlight at my sister. The subject line reads, "The truth about my sisters, engagement, and other deceptions." My sister was furious. What the hell are you doing? What is this garbage? Aren't you going to open your email? Little sister? Several guests turned on their phone flashlights and started reading. Horror dawned on their faces one by one. Play the first audio file. I said, my voice sharp, the one about the ATM. My sister's voice filled the silence. My sister is our personal ATM. She pays for anything I ask. She's too nice. She has money. We need to squeeze every last drop out of her. That's a lie. My sister screamed a lie. I aimed the flashlight at Marquez. And are the photos of your fiancé with Sophia also a lie? Sophia turned pale. Hi, what photos? My sister snatched a phone from a guest and saw the images. Her scream tore through the night. Sophia, you bitch. I didn't know you two were serious. Sophia yelled back. He told me it was just for money, liar. They launched at each other in the dark. Guests tried to separate them while I illuminated them as if it were a show enough. I said, and my voice stopped them cold. Turn the flashlight on Marquez. Let's talk about the good man. My sister chose over my daughter. Marquez looked at me with pure hatred. This is insane. Insane. A good man doesn't run from his responsibilities. A good man doesn't owe his own daughter $45,000 in child support. The information dropped like a bomb among the guests. Murmurs filled the darkness. That's a lie. My sister yelled. You exaggerate everything. You're doing this because you're jealous. You can't stand to see me happy because Marquez was always your impossible love. I paused, letting her words hang in the air. Then I approached her slowly. Impossible love. I laughed, little sister, after 5 years without seeing this parasite. Do you really think I feel anything other than disgust? Yes, because you never got over him. You're right about one thing, I said, shining the flashlight directly in her face. I never got over a man abandoning his daughter. I never got over someone being such a coward. At that moment, sirens were heard outside, the red and blue lights of police cars reflected in the windows. What the hell is that? Marquez asked, panic in his voice. That I smiled in the darkness. They're here for the stolen car parked outside. And while they're at it, they're bringing an arrest warrant for unpaid child support. The front door opened. 2 officers entered with powerful flashlights. Marquez Rivera. One of them asked, "To have a warrant for your arrest for non-payment of child support." This can't be. My sister screamed. This is a trap. Ma'am, the officer replied, your boyfriend has been evading this debt for 5 years. The law has finally caught up with him. The handcuffs gleamed in the darkness. Marquez tried to run but tripped over a chair. The officers cuffed him while he yelled, "This is revenge. She's crazy. You can't do this." They can. I said laws exist for a reason. As they took Marquez away, my sister launched at me like a wild animal. You ruined everything. You ruined my life. No, little sister, you ruined your own life when you decided that canceling a 6-year-old's birthday was worth it for a man who sleeps with your best friend. My uncle, who had been silent this whole time, finally spoke. Is it true about the video? The one she used to threaten you? He asked, his voice thick with pain, disbelief, played the recording of her blackmail threat on my phone and showed it to him. My sister's voice, clear and cruel, could be heard, warning that she would use social services against my daughter if I ruined her party. Explicitly mentioning a video she would edit to do it. The horror on my uncle's face was my validation. Oh my God, my aunt whispered, covering her mouth with her hand. How could you do that? Threaten your own niece? My sister collapsed onto the floor, sobbing, her makeup streaked, her charade shattered. No, it wasn't like that. I was angry. I didn't mean it. The guests began to leave one by one, whispering among themselves. Some even gave me a pat on the shoulder. Well done. Someone muttered, she deserved it, said another. When the house was empty, only my sister and I remained, took a document from my bag and handed it to her. It's an eviction. Notice. You have 24 hours to get your things out of my house. She looked up from the floor, makeup smeared and eyes red. You're really not going to forgive me. I'm your sister. I crouched down to her level and looked her directly in the eyes. My sister wouldn't have humiliated an innocent child for a man who abandoned his own daughter. My sister wouldn't have threatened me with social services using a fake video. My sister wouldn't have tried to steal my house. I stood up and walked to the door. Person who did all of that is not my sister. I stated, my voice firm. She's a stranger who looks a lot like someone I knew a long time ago, and that person has no place in my life. Now I walked out of my own house, feeling the fresh air of freedom, leaving her alone in the darkness. amidst the wreckage of her ruined party and the pieces of the life she had destroyed with her own hands. Outside, under the flickering streetlights, tow truck was hauling away my car, which Marquez and my sister had been using without permission. A final piece of the puzzle fell into place. The circle had closed perfectly, and justice had finally been served. The next day, she buzzed my intercom at 7 a.m., pleading in a voice I didn't recognize. "Please open up. Can we talk? I'm your sister." "It's over," I replied through the system. "Your adult life starts now." I didn't open the door. That afternoon I changed the locks. I left her things in trash bags on the curb, her clothes, her books, her memories of a life that no longer existed. The neighbors watched as she cried, picking up her belongings as if they were trash. 3 months later, the first check from Mark as his garnished child support arrived $47 from a prison wage. It wasn't about the money. My daughter already had everything she needed. It was the full stop. The confirmation that promises are kept. Even if it takes years, I remodeled the entire house, changed the floors where she had walked, painted the wall she had touched, replaced the furniture where she had sat. Every trace of her presence was meticulously erased. The house became our sanctuary again. With my remaining savings, I created an ironclad college fund for my daughter. No one can touch it except her when she turns 18. She will never again depend on the kindness of others. A year later, my phone rang, unknown number. "Hello, it's me." My sister's voice sounded broken, desperate. "I need money so I don't get evicted, please." I listened to the silence in the background. I imagined where she might be, who she was living with, what she had lost. I paused. I let her cling to hope for 5 seconds. Then I hung up. I blocked the number. I breathed in the air of absolute freedom. My daughter is 7. Now. Yesterday, she asked me why her aunt doesn't come to visit anymore, because some people choose to hurt the ones who love them. I explained. And when that happens, you get to choose to protect yourself. And is it okay to choose that? Mommy? It's more than my love. It's necessary. Last night, as I watched her sleep in her new bed in her redecorated room, I realized something. I don't feel guilt. I don't feel pity, I feel peace. I taught my daughter the most important lesson of her life without her, even realizing it, that your worth is non-negotiable, that your dignity is not a currency, and that walking away from someone who hurts you doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you free.